it is now going to be fully pressurized on Rodgers about how he plays and how the team responds. Not so much Monday, but in the weeks that follow. Listen, they're going to beat the Lions because if there's one thing we know about the Packers and the Lions is they play twice a year and Green Bay whoops them every single time. So we know they will. That is their early season bye. We know they'll win that game. But then after that, they have two teams that are feeling great right now. Two teams whose defenses are feeling great right now, with the exception maybe a couple minutes at the end of week one in San Francisco and Pittsburgh. And Rodgers' trump card all offseason and in every media availability he had, Broussard, was he always threw in there, or very often threw in there, yeah, and I mean, they draft my replacement, and, I went out and I won league MVP, and so I thought maybe I'd get a contract extension. And so, after the year we had where, I thought I played really well, thought it was one of the better years of my career, I thought I'd get, a contract extension. But that doesn't play when you were the worst quarterback in the league this week. And so he now has an added level of pressure on himself that if they fall to the Niners, who knocked him out of the NFC Championship game a couple years ago, or if they fall to the Steelers, or God forbid if they lose both of those games and they're 1-3, the noise is going to become deafening. And so I do think his comments were totally fine, Broussard, but I think he now has an extra level of pressure that he and the team must play excellent over the rest of September in order to really quiet it and say, hey, you know who else lost to the Saints 38-3 last year? Tampa Bay. How'd that end up for them? They won the Super Bowl. They can flip it into that, but they need to win weeks 3 and 4 to do that.
Well, I agree with you, Nick, about Aaron's comments. I think they were right on the money. If I'm coming off a bad loss, I want my leader to say, hey, it's just week 1. We'll be fine. It's early. Okay. I want him to say, we've got to learn from this loss, and we will learn from this loss. I want him to say those types of things. We'll show what we're made of by how we respond to this adversity. So I'm here for all of that. But guys, I've been married for more than a quarter of a century. Yes, I said it. And in my 26 years of marriage, I have learned that it is not always what you say, but it's how you say it. And look, I'm getting tired of that. Aaron Rodgers is just too cool. He's too calm. He's too unbothered. He is. I'm sorry. Look, and I'm not just saying that. I'm not saying this just based on yesterday's interview or just based on how he's been acting since training camp.
No, you've been saying.
I think this is one of his weaknesses. I think this is one of the weaknesses of Aaron Rodgers. It's one of those lack of intangibles, if you will. I need some urgency.
Wow.
I need some energy. I need some fire, a little bit. And look, he had arguably the best year of his career last year, right? Last year. And what was it? He was angry. He wasn't cool. He wasn't calm. He wasn't unbothered. He was angry. He was ticked off. And he went out there and lit the league on fire. I need to see that from Aaron Rodgers because the team takes on the personality of the quarterback. And I just think he's a little too cool, Wiles. Give me some energy.
I disagree, Broussard. And I wish I should have gotten and talked to you maybe when you were a young man as a teenager. Because here's the number one piece of advice I give to my kids and any of the children or teenagers watching the show. First of all, your old buddy Kevin Wildes is a pacifist, and violence is never the answer. But if you're ever in a bar fight, you know the one guy you don't want to fight? The calm guy. Never fight the calm guy. If you're getting fired up, you're like, yeah, let's get it on, buddy. And Russ is like, yes, let's go outside. You're like, you know what? Let me just buy you a drink. The calm guy, Broussard, is the most dangerous guy out there. And that's what Aaron Rodgers is. To me, it wasn't the fact that he was lackadaisical. It was the fact that he had so much confidence in himself. He was like, yeah, we're ready to go. So I don't need any more energy from him. And I'm going to also reject one of Nick's points. Nick said he called Aaron Rodgers' comments pablum. I'm like, buddy, you are way off, perhaps one of your worst takes ever, because we got the answer to why Aaron Rodgers threw his red zone interception. We were all like, hey, what the heck? He never throws red zone interception. Broussard's like, well, maybe the offseason. He said he got the old 1-2 shot, the old double jeopardy downtown. So that's why he got a little bit thrown off. He said he used to wear a cup when he was a child. He decided not to wear a cup anymore in football, and that's the reason he threw the interception. So the fact that that won't happen ever again, because I don't think that anyone will, I think that's just a bad coincidence for Aaron Rodgers. It wasn't pablum, and he was super calm, and I loved it. Thought it was great.
Yeah, okay. I'm not sure what the justification is for then the second interception, because that was a clean pocket. Nobody was anywhere around him or any parts of his body, and he just flung it up there. But listen, folks are allowed to have bad football games. But I just want to ask Broussard a question. Broussard, but for Rodgers to do what you're advocating for would be a total departure from the personality that he has shown forever. We remember, God, it was at this point, 6-7 years ago when they had the bad start and he had the famous RELAX press conference. Remember? Right. Told everyone calm down, everyone relax, and that worked. So don't you think, while I agree last year he was ticked off and he was awesome, his previous best season ever was the 15-1 year when they were the defending Super Bowl champions. So he was the opposite of ticked off, and he had a spectacular season. So don't you think, at this point in his career, he is who he is? What you're advocating for would be such a change in personality that it's unrealistic?
He absolutely is who he is. All right, and but my point is this. I think this is an intangible that he lacks. You say work. Wow. Okay. I say fall short. This is a guy that until Pat Mahomes, everybody thought was the best to ever throw the football. Why hasn't he been to a Super Bowl with a pretty good team in 10 or 11 years? I'm just saying, when it gets to those big moments, that's when the little things show up. And I think the team needs to see a little more injury. I don't want him going crazy. Don't get wild. But just speak with a little more fire, a little more urgency, all right? And that's all I'm asking for. And Wilds, I get he's into the mental health space now and all that. That's great for life. But when it comes to football, sometimes you got to be a little bit different. We know a lot of our great athletes are one way off the field, but another way on the field when you step in those lines. So I just want to see a little more fire personally.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.